Let's make sure. Okay, there we go. How about this? Guys, welcome to the show today. This is Jonathan Tripp. My name is Jonathan Tripp. This is episode 25. Is that what this is? But welcome, because I don't know really what's going to happen today on the show. It's Social Media Day. It's the last day of June. We're officially halfway through the year. I'm kind of flying with this today. I don't quite know. I see you guys on Periscope. Welcome to the show. If you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe. Make sure you do, guys, follow. I really appreciate it. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit differently. Normally, we talk about some like social media news, and I try to make it relevant or at least fun and not suck. But today, we're actually going to be talking, and I want to go through and I want to guys show you some of the different social media day events that are actually happening around the U.S. And there's some really pretty awesome ones out there. I got to say, like, this year above all years. I think this year they've outdone. And I even wrote a blog article about it, guys. That's how committed I was to this. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. If you haven't already, you're watching us on Periscope, or if you're watching on this on, I don't know, Facebook or YouTube, share it out. I would really appreciate it, because I would love to be able to connect with you guys after and even kind of like during the show. I don't know, maybe that could happen. But anyway, guys, thank you so much here. While I get us going with this, guys, anyway, let's see, how are we going to do this? Because I had to reset my entire studio. But guess what? We're going to be starting the show. Guys, stick with me. I'll see you in just a minute. All right, guys, so here's the deal, right? This is the end of half of the year. It's already gone. I don't know if you guys really pay attention to that kind of stuff. I mean, I do, because I'm a schedule guy. I know I've got to keep things, things happen at a certain time, things like this, right? But here's what's really important about this. Today is June 30th. This is 2017 when this is broadcast live. So if you guys are watching this after, thank you for the reply and all that stuff like this. But today is June 30th. And today, and actually a little bit last night, but today, Social Media Day. And if you guys aren't familiar for what that is, even if you're not a social media professional, this is what I want. I want you guys to know that this was an event put on by it was created by Mashable about 7 or 8 years ago. So it's 2010. So it's 7. So they've been doing 8. This is the 8th annual. And what it is this is just a chance to celebrate social media in the way that it helps connect us the world around real time with people geographically you're isolated from. And you guys, I think you guys know the story on really how that is, right? So let me do this right now. What I would like to do, let me just kind of hit, I'm just going to go down through, and I'm not going to do a screen share. I thought about doing a screen share, but I'm like, no, I don't know about that. That's kind of ridiculous at times. But so what I'm going to do here, let me do this. I'm just going to try to catch some of the comments here. Guys, thank you. If you guys are watching on Facebook, thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Lindsay. And thank you guys, everybody that's watching us on Periscope. If you would, make sure you do subscribe. And if you would, share it out. I'd appreciate it. I'd love to be able to catch and see what you guys are doing. Let's see here. Good morning and good morning. Thank you, guys. All right. So I kind of shared this earlier. I even wrote a blog article about this, right? And it actually went out a little early this morning. I didn't mean it to go out so early, but that's okay. I was going to do the show and then publish it, but you know what? I didn't. I guess I didn't do it that way. So here's the deal with social media, with Social Media Day. How many of you guys have heard of it? Or anything like that? How many of you guys have paid attention to that as an event? I'm just kind of wondering, like, if you guys have, you give me a little bit of give me like one, or I don't know whether it's in the comments or just like, yeah, I know about Social Media Day. So here's the thing, right? With Social Media Day, there's a whole bunch of them going on through the year. I mean, through the day, throughout the country. and around. And I kind of gave you a quick little intro about it. It was put on, it was started here, and I'm just actually kind of looking over at the blog article I wrote and published it. And I published top 10. And you know, there is always a challenge when doing a top 10. Do you know why? It's because you have to exclude somebody. And so what I did, I didn't, this isn't necessarily the most popular or the most well attended or the necessarily like all of those different categories. I didn't make that happen. But what I did do, I did make, what are some notable ones that either maybe ones that you haven't heard of, or ones that maybe you have heard of and you should pay attention to it for this year for a particular reason. Now, I put my list in alphabetical order. Okay, so first off, with Social Media Day, I was highlighting what's the first city? Austin. It's Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas. They're hosting their its own Social Media Day, and what it is, they are celebrating a lot of the technologies that enable us to connect across the world. And they really actually do have some very good, solid speakers, and they've got some panelists going on. And you know what I like about these? A lot of these, and this is a trend I've seen. You know, I will highlight a couple of the different types of events that are being put on. Some are just parties. Others are more event speaker, sit-down presentation. And some of them are kind of a mismatch of those. Some are long, full-day events. Others are kind of maybe like a couple of hours in the middle of the day, more like a brunch, things like that. But this particular one, I wanted to highlight it because what they're also going to be doing is that they're going to be Facebook Live broadcasting the event. And I think for them, it's going to be 2:30 their time. So that's 2:30 Austin, Texas time. Texas probably has its own, probably one or two of its own time zones. So I don't really know exactly which one that'll be. But if you do go over to smdayaustin.com, you'll actually be able to catch them. They were the first on the list. Chicago is the next up. Now, here's the thing with Chicago. It's kind of one of those towns that it's always going. They had some events start yesterday. They had some things going on today. But the official Social Media Day Chicago event is being held at the Chicago's North River area at I think it's a co-working space. It's Space by Dojos, and that's Doejo. And I thought that was kind of cool. And that is a trend I've been seeing, at least for when trying to do venues in the downtown area where there's you can't do a coliseum or anything like this, but you do need a space that's got enough, a working space that's got enough. And Chicago really did this well, and they've got some really good speakers, and I put some of the speakers in this case there, but they've got some good speakers in I think that's over at boxlessmedia.com, and I think they're the hosts for this year, and that's /Chicago-social. But again, that's on there, and you guys can find this. You guys can find this blog article over at jonathantripp.com. Just kind of scroll down a little bit. I will make a share out link for this on Twitter and stuff like that. Thank you for the heart. I appreciate it. I get to see it. Let's see here. So that was Chicago. And again, this feels more of like Chicago's doing more of a bigger, a more formal speaker event style. And I get the feeling, I mean, they probably have some real good style here. You know what I'm saying? Now this next one, and again, remember this list is primarily, I listed it alphabetically, and I'm gonna say this again because this next one up, this one's a little more near and dear to me because this is one of the things that we helped, Jen Nelson and I, we helped produce some of the lead up shows for this event, and this is Social Media Day Denver. And maybe I'm a little biased. No, I'm really a lot of it biased because I think this event, I think this was probably one of the best events to go to be able to go meet some notable social media people, have enough space that it's not too big that you can never meet everybody. You can do handshakes, you can hang out with them, you get to connect with them, which to me that's a really important factor in doing any of these kind of events. But Social Media Day Denver, which is actually happening right now, because they're about an hour or so back, but right now, and I think this is probably the premier event. They have just an amazing lineup of guests. They've got Joel Comm, Kim Garst, Ray Edwards, Michael O'Neill, Andrea Val, and their keynote. If you thought any one of those keynote, that wasn't even the keynote. The keynote is Brian Kramer, and you guys know him. He does the H2H chat, and this was a really great event, and I wanted to encourage you, if you haven't already, try to tune in. You can go over to, if you want some like daily, some kind of like mid updates, you can actually go over to Rachel Moore. She's doing this, and let me see if I can pull her Twitter up, because she has a separate .live domain just for today. And Jen Nelson, I see you hopping on. Thank you guys. So Rachel Moore, you can follow her. Actually, you can follow her on Twitter. It's Rachel Moore RS. But her domain, she bought it. She has a domain just for this event. It's rachelreporting.live. And if you click on that, it will take you over so that you can catch what she's doing now. I think that was super smart. I love it. I love the way she's just integrating a lot. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, but one of the sponsors for that show is actually Right Side Domains, and that's where you can get all of your .live domains. I'm just saying, if it's something you want to do. Anyway, so but Erin Sell with Socially Powered, she was an organizer, and she just did a fantastic job. And today is gonna be a lot of fun. Personally, I wish I could be there, but I can't. Next up, alphabetically, is Detroit joined the Social Media Association of Michigan. And I'm going to say like this, guys, when I think of like Social Media Day events, I don't think of Michigan. But here's a couple of cool things that they're doing. Today, they are actually doing a statewide Twitter chat about social media. That was something that was pretty cool. I didn't see anybody else doing that, okay? And they're bringing together some really good, solid speakers, and they're going to be talking about some different things. And their keynote is Jason Falls. He's the founder of Social Media Explorer and the Conversation Research Institute. They're also having an after-party event as well, a little bit. Oh, and you know what? That reminds me. I didn't actually note it, and I'm going to update my blog about this. Because here's the thing. Hey, Terry. Hey, Jeff. It's good to see you guys in the on Facebook today. If you guys are in Periscope, would you just do me a favor? Just let me know. Say, hey, give me like a hi. I see you. Because I just want to make sure everything you guys are actually connecting down there. One of the things I forgot about Denver, and one of the reasons why actually this is kind of so cool and so fun, is because they have the after event shenanigans. And this is this is actually as big of an event as some people put on during the day, and this is just their after party. If you guys haven't, they're going to be broadcasting a whole bunch of stuff. You can go over, and I think you can follow Joel Comm or Rachel Moore. One of those two, I know they're going to be broadcasting this thing out, and it is going to be hilarious. So that was Social Media Day Denver and Detroit. Now, okay, the next one up is Houston. Now, here's the problem with Houston. They had with Texas. It's such a big state. They've got Houston and Austin, and I think they have one in Dallas, although I didn't really cover that one. But we already talked about Austin. That was the first on the list. Houston is the next one, okay? Here's why I picked Houston, is because it's got a couple people in there that you might know, namely being Christy Gillentine. How many of you guys have heard of her with ChatSnap? Awesome. This is going to be another really great, and this is going to be another really great event, and this is Houston's only social media conference. I love that they put that on their website. You can find them over at HoustonSMDay.com, and that's pretty cool. I love it. Here, I'm just kind of catching up with some of the comments, and thank you guys for joining. If you haven't already, would you do me a favor, quick share that out on Facebook? I appreciate it. So they're going to be talking about live streaming, influencer marketing, emails, and social media, bringing those together. Also, they have an entire panel dedicated to social customer service, and that actually that was a really kind of a cool concept. What they're trying to do is push that out. I really like that. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 more. We're actually only halfway through this list. And so we just covered Houston. So I think that I'm going to finish out with that's Texas. That's Texas, all right. So you got a couple, and there's some others in there. New York. Who wouldn't think that New York wouldn't have a really a pretty awesome social media day? And the content funnel, it actually is the host for this. And this event is, they've got some really great sponsors for this, including Grubhub and Comedy Central, just to name a few. But they're doing some really kind of cool things, talking about the power of storytelling, integrating some online customer feedback and things like this. Again, it's another unique take on what makes social media great. It's this one again. This is pretty classy. This is pretty upscale. It's New York. I don't know if you guys would think of anything else other than that, but I kind of like it. I kind of like what they're doing. But now contrast that with Orlando. And I don't mean that Orlando is now like some rundown thing. Orlando's take on this conference is very different. This is a smaller event. This year's event. It focuses on digital storytelling on the social platforms. It is a very intimate kind of together type of event, and I really liked it. I thought that was really kind of cool that they're going to be doing that. And NSG Consulting is organized that one, and then getting back to and this is the next. This is another big city. Is Philadelphia. How many of you guys know about Philadelphia or have been there? I lived there for a number of years, and so I was kind of going through this, going like, yep, I know that. That's kind of cool. Now, this is this event, and there's a couple others. So Denver sticks out. Philadelphia is another stick out of my mind event. And here's the reason why. They have CEOs and top project managers and things like this, and made like lead directors and things from Reebok, from Bitly, from Twitter, Microsoft, LinkedIn. I mean, they've even got somebody from Mashable there. I mean, this is a really big event, and this is put on by SliceCommunications.com and in partnership with Comcast. These guys are bringing together really digital marketers and professionals, and this is a really elegant event. And so if you're in that area, I'm sure you can stop by. And that's that's SMDayPhil, PHL.com. You can check them out. Now, probably one of the best known, widest known, and for a whole bunch of reasons is this one. This is Social Media Day San Diego. How many of you guys have heard of that one? That one is the one of the most well-known. And there's a whole host of reasons why, if not because Social Media Examiners, at least local. And that's one of the ones, and I just wanted to, I put in my, in the blog article today, I put out, I named names in this one particularly. But starting out, the keynote speakers, Pat Flynn. And that's if you have Pat Flynn at the event, that's a really great event. That's kind of cool. So we got Pat Flynn, Michael Stelzner, Mari Smith, Dennis Yu, Mitch Jackson, we know him, Owen Hemsath, Maria Simino, and Josh Hager, Subi Zimmerman, Azrael Ratz. Guys, I mean, it's not just star-studded because it's more than that. This is actually really kind of one of those premier events, and also they have a party cruise boat. I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. I like that. So that's San Diego, and you guys obviously Social Media Day San-Diego.com. That's kind of cool. I like it. I appreciate it. I'm kind of glad to see those kinds of things happening for them. And then the last one, and this is the one that I picked, and even after the fact, there's one or two others that I can think of, and I might even kind of throw them in as like honorable mentions or something like that. But here's the other one that I was thinking of is Tampa. Now, why would you pick Tampa, Florida? Okay, I'm not. When I think social media, I don't think, but I mean, like you've got Chicago and Philadelphia, you've got some major cities. Tampa is not necessarily like a major, huge city in the U.S. It's not necessarily a tech center, but I'm going to tell you the reason why I included this one. This one I included because they did Social Media Day different than everybody else. They work with a local car dealership in the area, and they were able to convince them to let them borrow, I think it's 12 VW Beetles, to drive around Tampa, and they have featured bloggers. They set this up so that a number of featured bloggers would drive these Beetles around, taking snapshots and photos and competing in challenges and things like this, talking about this event. And so they're highlighting the town. And then this all led up to they had a raffle for a charity, which is and I'm probably going to pronounce it, but it's a music festival, and that helps celebrate the area's local music scene, and so they did all of this surrounding, and this is so local. It's so social media and share friendly. That one really stood out. I didn't see anybody else that did anything like this. So what I would love to do, and what I might actually go back through, is actually include, because everybody has their own hashtags. I'd love to be able to do that and throw in some hashtags and things like that for the show. So anyway, guys, regardless of what you're actually doing, how you're spending your social media day, just make sure you guys are having fun and that you actually share it out. Because not everybody goes to events. Some people participate via just the online format. And I love that. And I love the fact that that's the truth, and that's how that works. So guys, anyway, this was just a social media day roundup. I'm going to actually hop off today because I want to watch and I want to participate and see what everybody else is doing on their social media day as well. So guys, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Make sure you guys are having a safe 4th of July weekend. If you're in the States, happy Canada Day for all of my Canadian friends. Guys, I really appreciate it. It's super glad to be able to connect with you. Make sure you do follow us, jonathantripp.com. If you would, you can head over there. You can even share that blog article out. I don't know. I'd appreciate that. But guys, thank you so much for everything. Don't forget to sign up for your email list over at jonathantripp.com. And I promise I won't spam you. I don't do that stuff, at least that I think of. So having said that, guys, I really appreciate it. I'm really actually kind of glad we were able to connect today. This was kind of a fun event, fun day. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I'll check you guys next week because we're gonna be doing some fun things, and I will be going live a little bit later on today, talking about what the month of July has for us. So, all right, guys, take care. Talk to you later.